Good morning, guys. It's been a while since last time I recorded a video for you English-speaking supporters. Today I'm visiting construction site, new home, and going to provide you an update. Today is a rainy day, so I see myself on a wet screen on the phone. Hopefully it's not, camera is opened. So let me start from the electricity. We're still in the process of connecting home to electricity, but we are ready to start using it completely. So this is number of receptacles, really powerful receptacle. It's a 32 amperes, 3-phase with ground. So this is needed for the future if we or when we will switch from that car to electrical car, right? You know that for the electrical car you need to have pretty powerful source if you want it to be charged fast. So this is what is new here, that electrical box. That is unusual, right? Then what else is connected is internet. So this home already has internet. We still have no electricity, but we have internet. We're using electricity from the neighbor. Next update, it's a pretty big update. So we have grounding for the electrical system. And we have anti-strike protection. So this is the system which goes to the roof on one side and other side of the house. And I'm going to go to the roof and show you a little bit more of the system. Okay, so I'm on the roof. Let me switch camera. So we have rainy weather and this system is not sliding. So it has that like greedy kind of cover, and no issues with holding you even when it's wet. Let me get back to the anti-strike protection. So as you can see, it goes over the perimeter of the roof, goes there, completely like full perimeter. It's a little bit isolated. So this is needed for the strike when it hits that rod. When the strikes go through these cables to the corners and down to the ground. Under the ground, under the ground there is also a rod. As you can see how it's organized. So this is all needed in order to protect all electrical appliances. This is how it's configured. So the rod is temporary right now. We are going to make it longer. It has 2 meters, we are going to make it 4 meters. Because here I want to put 360-degree camera, which should be on different rods, and it should be protected from the strike, because this is the very top of the house, right? So this is completely new. This is protection that we have experienced, not we, not our family, but our neighbors, when the strike of the during thunderstorm destroyed the house and destroyed all electrical system. That's not fun. Okay, so let me adjust the overview of the place where we are. I don't know if it says you something, but as you see, it's all private houses, so it's really next to the city. Here is the city. It's like 7 minutes drive to the downtown, to the city. Okay, so I'm really glad of the surface of this type of the roof, because on my Kyiv house it was not possible to walk on the roof when it's wet. Here it's completely no problems. Like, you can hear how the rubber behaves, and on the glance surface these shoes are not holding. Here I have no issues at all. I feel like it's I don't know, like a rubber tape, you know. So let me know if you're familiar with this system of anti-strike protection. It's very interesting. Like this pretty simple system which costs $1,000 to install. It's anti-strike plus grounding system for the electrical box altogether, but they are different, they are separate in order for the strike not go to the ground. So for the strike it is grounded on this side of the house. For the ground, it's grounded on opposite side of the house, which makes it working when the strike hits. Then the all plasma goes to the opposite side of the house of all electrical appliances, which saves money, you know. It's all about security. I'm going down and I'll show you other updates that we have here. So now I'm on the ground and I don't think you can see it. That's the beauty of the system. So it goes on the border, on the perimeter of all roof. It's almost invisible, but it's a significant protection for all electrical appliances. Let me show you how it organized outdoor, outside of, no, it's all outdoor, like how it organized it on the ground. So all cables, it's aluminium cable, goes here, and there is a metal stripe which is underground, and it is connected to other side of the building, other corner, where there is a secondary cable which also goes to the ground. And this is anti-strike protection, but grounding for the electricity, which is important to protect humans from electricity grid. It's organized on other side of the house. That's important. Do not mix both these systems, because if all electricity from the strikes goes to the ground, if you put grounding system which is located here on the ground next to it, you can close the loop, and that all protection will work towards your appliances. That's why it's on other side of the home. So we have 5 rods here under the ground in order to achieve 3 ohms of the resistance. That is like a standard. Enough is 10 ohms, so 3 ohms is I don't know how many times, 3 times better or something. So this is just a simple cable which goes inside, and it will go to the electricity box, which is located right next to that door, inside, indoor. So that's a new add-on for the house. So we are, before putting any cameras on it, before putting any electrical supply appliances to the house, we need to secure everything, right? Because it's investment, you know that this is investment. Okay, this is about protection of electricity, and next I'm going to show you some updates from the house itself. Now guys, I'm indoor inside the house and going to show you some major updates that happened inside. As you can see behind me, under the roof, we have a new insulation. It's a foam polyurethane. It's a pretty great insulation that you can use in your home, even if it's already built, and even if you want to improve your insulation. So the thickness of it's 5 inches, about 5 inches, or 120 millimeters. They made this insulation in 6 hours. All the roof inside and balcony outside. So it's about 80 square meters or something. It cost me $2,000. It's in Ukraine. I understand that in States it's completely different story, but it should give you some understanding. So it's not a big deal. It's a quick. It's good for ecology. Like there is no any issues with breathing, because polyurethane, when it's polymerized final, it's not any more problematic solution. So you can think of this foam. It's used when installed windows. They use that foam to isolate everything, and this is the same, pretty the same foam, just in bigger scale, specifically for heat insulation. And in comparison, it's not only heat insulation but also sound inhibitor. There is no any more echo in the house when I'm talking to the roof. And when there was rain, so before this insulation, I heard the rain really hard. So yeah, we're still planning to add insulation on the ceiling of the first floor and on the second floor ceiling, but that insulation is it's a glass wool. Yeah, glass wool. It's a different system. It has different characteristics, and it degrades over time. So warranty period for the glass wool is 7 plus minus 3 years. After that, it has more humidity and less heat protection, thermal protection. So you need to replace it every 7 years. But in this case, because we have this polyurethane which has hundreds of years service life, it's not degrading over time. We can keep this glass wool just for the acoustic protection, right? Because now you don't need that heat anymore, heat protection anymore from it. It will work only for acoustic protection. And also we receive it warm attic it's not a full like size attic. You need to actually dig through it on the knees, so the height of it is probably a meter or so, but when it's isolated, it means that you can put there something that is more sensitive to environment, right? You can put there some season stuff. You can put there like wood that do not respect cold weather, right? So a lot of stuff. So we actually received some storage space, which I'm showing you over my head. So, additional thing is so-called mirror, which prohibits heat from going to the bottom. So this is a preparation for the concrete floor pouring, for the underfloor heating, or so-called radiant heating, that we are going to have over all surfaces of the house. So it's a second floor. It's already prepared for the tubes. So there will be tubes all over the floor, which all connected to this box, where you can control the flow of every section, of every segment, and where you can have a servo drives in order to build a smart heating system. So for example, if you are not at home, or if you need to have less heating for some reason, for some specific segment, with these servo drives and some smart device that will be connected to smart home, you can have a control over that. So we have this box on the second floor, and another one which is bigger one, which is more about controlling between first and second floor, and controlling first floor radiant heating segments on the first floor. They are connected through the tubes that are going down, so it's still in preparation, and I believe that I'm not going to show in this kind of my longer videos. I'll send you a video from the Anton, who will work on pouring concrete hopefully next week, if nothing crazy happens. So this is biggest update of the house. Another big update is we started to put water insulation on the balcony. It's a blue color. It's acrylic based insulation, aqua block, lacquer seal, professional. So usually you have these rolls of they made it from asphalten that used for the roads. They made it the same, like rolled sheets that you need to heat with gas heater. It melts down, and that's how you receive that insulation. This system is completely different. You just need to kind of, I don't know, to paint with it with a couple of layers, and you are done. It's a definitely game changer. It has no issues with terms of service. There are no cracks, because it's also some polymer that behaves like a rubber, or like a thin layer that can be stretched without any cracks. And this is what we are going to use for the balcony, as well as in the future on the cars there will be a that you all heard about, but it's not yet started. But shelter is the project of the future. But this is all about update in the house. It's a big update, it's a significant update, visually confirmed significant update. Also finished all receptacles, all cables to the receptacles, so after all tubes for radiant heating placed in place, connected to the boxes, there will be concrete pouring hopefully next week. Then 3 or 4 days concrete will cure, and after curing the concrete, guys will start working on finalizing the main electrical box that is on the first floor. Hopefully after March 14, electricity grid should be hooked up. At least that's what they said. It took us, or it still not took us, hopefully it will took us about 6 months since I requested a connection. And it's crazy. Like, we have 210 meters to the transformator. So they put couple of cable columns. I don't know, you can see that through the window. Let me go there and show you. So they put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional columns for the cable. This cable goes to our first electrical box. There is a grid meter, and then cable goes under the ground all over. No, it goes in front of the house on the ground, and then it goes that way through the foundation and inside the home to the main electricity box, which is on the first floor right here. After electricity is here, everything should start be more quicker, because right now we are using electricity from the neighbor, borrowing from it. It's not convenient, it's not powerful, and we are not, like, when you use something that does not belong to you, you should be careful about using it. So we're using it just for the essential stuff. But for powering like heater here, or starting to hook up lights, hook up everything that is needed for the house, we are going to rely on connection that we already requested and waiting for it to happen. On the second floor, everything finished in regards to the bathroom. So here we will have 2 sinks, toilet and a bath, and here will be a dryer connected to the heating system, and the dryer on the first floor also, it's somewhere under that place. They are in the dedicated loop, which could be used not only during the winter but also in summer and other seasons. So these dryers are independent, and they all connected to the bottom room where everything, all equipment is located. We're going to have a couple of backup options, like first heating system is just electrical heater, which is most simple system and probably most reliable. It's just electrical and that's it. Nothing really complicated. There is nothing to break there. And it can stand even through the problematic spikes of electricity voltage, which could happen because we are in the war state, yes? And Russians are hitting our electricity system. But also there will be a diesel heater, which is usually used, you might heard about that in the big trucks. It's completely independent system that has only 12 or 24 volts connected to it. It's just for the start. and then it's automatically feeding diesel fuel, and that diesel fuel is pretty economical solution, and the size of that heater is like, I don't know, like for my fists the size, so it's like 10 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches, so it's really small thin. But if anything is not working and you are not a big fan of wood, burning the wood because you need a lot of wood, you can use this diesel as a backup. So, and that really well integrates with this smart home system. You can control it from the phone with no problems, just click on off and that's it. And it's secure because you know that in my system installed, that security in place for the mobile devices like IP67 or 68, everything. So I'm sure it will work just great. But again, diesel heater is a backup mostly. It's just for surveillance, like when nothing is working, right? So I told about electrical heater, then diesel heater, and also we will have a wood oven, which we can also use for heating a house. It's 8 kilowatts. I have it's in Ukrainian, but I have a short review of that. It's pretty compact. Let me go, I'll show you. It's still in packing, but I'll show you how big of the size it is. So I'm outdoor on the terrace, and here is oven, so you can feel of the size. So it's probably 10 inches by, not 10, 16 or 18 inches by 18 inches, and by the 3 feet tall. So it has a door which opens like that, so it's pretty compact system. Kilowatts of heat energy, which is enough for the house of this type, because as you can see it's well isolated. So think about this house as a thermos. That's why we have built air filtering and recuperators ventilation in it, because in this type of the house you can't live without ventilation at all. So I mentioned you 3 types of the heating system for any kind of life and war situations. The outlook. So what is in white or gray? It's styrofoam 100 millimeters or 4 inches insulation on top of OSB plates, which is the C panels. So these C panels, OSB plate, then styrofoam, that OSB plate, it's a C panel. It has 163 millimeters, which is 7 to 8 inches thickness, and then we have 4 inches of styrofoam as a heat insulation. So total thickness of the wall will be like 7, 8 plus 4 plus inside 1, so it will be like 10, like 13 inches wall, which is all heat insulation, right? So this is add-on that we change it in the design of the house. It's still not yet covered by insulation, but everything else is covered by insulation. So this will happen probably, I don't know, after concrete pouring alongside with the balcony and terrace final stage. And that will be it for the outlook. Before we will start putting any solar panels on it. Also, one more thing, we added anti-rain protection for in order for water not go between isolation and OSB plate. So now we have this, I don't know how they call in English, I need to so that is already in place. So actually after electricity is in house and after heating is there, then it's only indoor work which will happen. It will take us probably about 4 weeks. It depends from the number of workers. I don't know how many we can book these days, because usually these are men and we have a war, so a lot of men now enlisted in our army. I don't know, we will see. So I'm optimistic, but I can't guarantee the actual timeline. Thank you for your support. What else to say to you guys is preparation for the road, right? So we have a street to the right and to the left. This is the entry, and usually we are driving from there. So this gas tube will be mounted further into the, so it's not gonna be on the way. But this is what also changed, because we had a lot of soil here and it was all not good, especially through the rain season. And now we have this kind of preparation for the future road. I believe that this road will be covered by government. So I'm not going to invest in the road because it's heavy lifting. But overall, we have entry stones, gravel up to the home, up to the house. And now it feels and behaves way more cleaner. Like even when there's a heavy rain on the gravel, no issues at all. So now I'm going to have a lunch, and I don't know if I'll return back, but discuss it everything with Anton, who is helping me, and going to drive back to the Lutsk, where family is right now. So thank you for your support, guys. I really appreciate it. It's interesting to have this ability to share with you what I believe is completely different in comparison to the States. I don't think in States you can build your house without a lot of control. We also have control in Ukraine. We have, like, in order for you to assign address and for the house to become known by services like Google, to have address on the map, to hook gas to the property, you need to pass some checks, like architecture checks. When the house is ready, you should invite architects and they will measure all rooms in order to approve that your specific design or layout is approved, right? Also, I don't think we need have any verifications from like fire department. I don't think we need that. I believe that in States you need to pass that check, which also includes some funding because you need to pay for the expert which go and verify, or that expert should support you through the process of building, or you can't like make any changes to your home without specific approval or something. Let me know if I'm overthinking here. But overall, in Ukraine we have a lot of freedom. We still like, it's not freedom where we can do anything. Like I'm building home for myself, for my family, so I'm interested in making it secure. And through today's video, you might feel that I am caring about security, about anti-strike system, proper grounding. We have two different grounding systems, one from electricity grid, one our own, just in case. We use specific covering for these OSB panels, which is wood, but it also, that covering, it's a fire inhibitor. So we have a lot of these things through the process, but I'm building for myself. When you buy a house from the building company, from construction company that build house like on the regular basis, it's not always, these companies not always pass all these checks, and you kind of unprotected. You need to get used to the process. You need to understand what you're buying. In terms of multi-level apartments, if it's in the city, there are regulations that in Ukraine you need to, like a company that works on that. There are experts that verify everything. In terms of private houses, I don't think so. Like you can have it for yourself. Like if you're interested, you can go to the specific department and ask for their review. But if you buy a house from private, then it's on you. Those risks you need to cover by yourself in Ukraine. And yes, you can invite any experts. We have a lot of checks, like you can have that infrared camera that will check if insulation is good, but you see the process through my videos, something, especially what's inside the walls. When everything is finalized, you have no chance to verify that. Unless you have these videos like I'm doing, or somebody crazy like I am record everything, then you can kind of understand what's going on. In my experience, the home that I bought next to Kyiv, where we flew off, I got a couple of surprises. I didn't know a lot of things at that time, so I mostly was impressed with interior, with the space. So I was fitting configuration of my family into specific space, and I found that we can fit into that house. But then after some time I realized that heat insulation is not good, so needs improvement. Electrical system was not advanced to my needs, so I was struggling with adding home automation. I mean, conveniently adding, like you can add home automation to anything these days with additional device, but if you want to have that automation inside the walls, hidden from the eyes, like well looking, then you need to dig into the walls, like you need to change those receptacles, which if whoever built that house wasn't thinking about that, you have no space. Now you need to dig into the wall and all sorts of dirt, all that stuff is not convenient. So in my case, for this home, I'm kind of adding in advance. I'm thinking about put in deep pockets for the receptacles if I want to put relay behind mechanical switch. So I'm thinking a lot of in advance, and it's unusual, I believe. Like I can compare with the neighbor home. We had a coffee at the neighbor home, and they have really simple box for electric. They will have probably 2 or 3 like switches for the house completely, and that's it. So power box, just a small one, because not everyone are interested in having complex systems, you know. Not like people usually live simple life. I'm not that guy. So that's, I believe, it for today's video. I don't think it's well organized, but I hope that the quality of video is good, is decent, because I'm using good camera, and I hope that it gives you understanding about the process. So my hope, again, in terms of timing, I don't know what the future holds. Our country is in a war state, and we definitely have issues which slows us down, but there is a chance in 2 to 3 months that we can move into this house. It depends from a lot of stuff. It depends from availability of workers. It depends from my health. Definitely depends from resources, from financial resources for sure. But major stuff is done. Next major thing is underfloor heating, which after it we will have 2 big epics. One is indoor walls and plus ceiling. Second one is electricity and final electricity, lighting, and furniture. We will have kitchen, bathrooms ready, and we will grab some furniture from old house that we have next to Kiev, and we will buy some new here, because I want home next to Kiev to keep it like ready to live there. So I don't want to make it like not livable space, because we don't know what future holds. And if with the help of international community we return our like land and the war will stop, then we will consider to return back to that home, because it's our home, right? So again, thank you for your time. Thank you for like support. Thank you for like viewing these videos and supporting me. If you have any questions, let me know, send me a message, and take care. Goodbye.